It's Jastia. It is November 25th, right? Yes. Oh, crap. It's November 25th. I'm just realizing it's November 25th. So that's nuts because in my world, November 25th, 2022 is when basically I was used to make a demon connection between a masculine and a feminine group of beings that were inside the Masonic shadow that were always the ones in the 3000 time counts. So from at Memphis, so I just realized that when I turned this on to tell y'all what's been coming through in regards to the word Madonna. And also, I'm going to use this as an example to explain the process and how it happens, even whenever you guys get charts and make these cosmic connections, and how that data, whenever you get your chart, and then whenever I do your chart with all the knowledge that I have about how this is uncoiling and merging, that data that was held. Now, y'all, please just go with me. I'm doing my best to channel this, and I'm going to tell y'all I have a pen. Crap. What did I do with my pen? I'm using silver. Okay. If this is the equator, and this is the dome below, and this is the dome above, okay? I know it's not a complete circle. If this is the dome above, now remember, this dome, okay, is going to have another dome around it, is going to have another dome around it, because of satellites and things that are up in space, and because of a rhesus monkey genetic, even, that kind of circumferences like this. This is how the RH negative and the RH have a connection. Now notice how that looks like a fish. Now, when you consciously connect, okay, to the stars that you have, because remember, we're all cosmic. We're all star seeds. Like, we were all in this wheel. There's only 100 of us down here that made every single thing that's here through our fields over time. It doesn't make one better or worse than the other. It gives you different abilities and powers straight out of the gate. And all abilities and powers straight out of the gate are needed in order to change all dimensions of space and time at once. Okay, so this is whenever you hear healers, and you hear us say you're where you're supposed to be, but then when the teacher arrives, the student automatically wants to put the teacher on a pedestal and think that you're less than, but the truth is, no, you're right where you need to be, whatever level you're at, because you're connected into a whole group, and that's your superpower to get up to this group. When this, if you happen to be the teacher on the top, here's what y'all need to understand. If you happen to be the teacher on the top, then realize that whenever this group blows, then this gets bigger, then all this energy comes up here, then all this gets bigger, all this energy comes up here, then this gets bigger, all this energy comes up here, then this becomes the only connection to connect from this side, this side, this side, and this side. So every time that one human being, much less a wave of humans, activates, what it's doing is pushing your energy current up to the center from every angle, no matter where it is. Because remember, your energy field is going to hold right here. Let's say you have Vega, which this is one of the oldest ones. Okay, this is Vega. This is over here by where Gabriel Fomalhaut is. So let's just say this is number 31. This is number 28. Okay, this looks like this is number 23. Where'd I put this? This looks like this is, well, this is like Virgo. Okay, and then this is Sirius B. So this is number 10. And then this looks like I put it over here by Andromeda. So let's say that's number 5. Okay, now if I go connecting all these, look. Now remember, this is flat. This one right here goes all the way out like light years. Thousands of light years. Okay? So this amoeba, whenever you connect your star seeds, that's what you're connecting. You're connecting the true connections. Now, remember, this star wasn't talking to this star out in space. This star, in the simulation, before we started this in 2018, these stars weren't talking to each other. Why? Because it's way out in space. It's got to get through a house energy. The energy on Pisces on this side and the energy on Aquarius on this side is totally different. So this energy, this star is communicating with this star, but depending on if the energy is coming through Aquarius, it's going to pick up different than when it gets in on Pisces. And if you happen to have these Capricorn and a Pisces star, okay, then you're the one that's bridging them together and reading it as it's coming through Aquarius, as it's coming through Pisces. Why? Because you obviously can, because you hold a connection way down here at Sirius B, way over here in Gemini. See, all this is like anchoring this big amoeba that you just activated. That's you. That's your energy field. Now, there's other ones of us who intersect in that, right? There's 32 star rays. There's only 32. So every single one of us have a connection to these 32 rays. It's just which ones do you have in your chart? No matter, it's going to travel past, that energy is going to travel past that star anyway. That energy is going to travel past that star anyway. So as this is happening, right, when we're talking about leveling up, and when I tell you guys, like, I'm all right, when I get quiet over here, it's because I'm doing what I've been doing for 7 years, putting this together. When I say to all of you, we're doing it right now, like it's live. If you're involved right now, understand that this process is happening for the collective right now, leading into 2025. So, whenever I go do a big group of charts, which we just did, and it's part of the plan. Tanja and Norma Jean coming in the way they did, Jan sending my videos over to Lisa's group, to Tanja and Norma Jean's group, Kirsten seeing it over there, Tanja and Norma Jean seeing it, them coming in and doing their 3 charts. I had no idea either who any of these people were. I wasn't watching any of their channels. I didn't even know about their channels. Why? Because I've been over here doing this. y'all's entire group, if you came in with Tanja and Norma Jean, your entire mission to connect was just to be in the right place at the right time getting your chart done. Literally. And it is divine plan. It was manifested. It's like the third group of y'all in the past 6 years that have come in order to do it. But y'all are the ones here to change it now. You have connections from the future and the past, not just from the past. Most of you were made by your ancestors and chosen to be the ones to assist to claim right now as we make this huge jump. Okay? So when I go activate, so from my standpoint, after I go activate 20 charts, all right, then like in my third eye, this is what I'm seeing. Because see, I don't see these bubbles around this anymore at all. All I kind of see is the wheel, and then I see all y'all's massive amoebas. Stretching out billions of years of space-time. Billions of years of space-time. Because every single one of y'all's charts is one of these maps. And then every single time I do one, like for instance, if you haven't got your chart done at all, and maybe you don't need to get your chart done, but let's just say you have an energy right here, okay? You wouldn't even know that I just did 10 charts that all intersected that one star point, and you're gonna get a download. It's gonna pop your field. Now, what's happening is all these big amoebas of cosmic energy, right? It's like this group right here was made for this right here. Why? Because it changes the wheel. A lot of y'all and the first ones of y'all that I had to activate in order to hold this, okay, and I talked to you about it in your chart. One of you had a ton of Scorpio, and the other one I just knew was like holding the entire shadow realm in a lower field, dealing with mountains. So when these amoebas, when these start, because these are all connecting out in space, it's real easy for it to connect and form a thread out here. Okay, it's real easy once you clear the space, but you got to clear the space. This is where the body healing and all that, and getting rid of your trauma. No judgment on the family line. It's not your job. Your job isn't to be the judge and jury. Your job is just to show up and see what the hell happened, and then knowing that it's going to be taken care of. Our job wasn't here to judge everybody. We end up judging everybody because we have the records of what happened. It's real easy to see when this X right here that's formed from us doing charts, it gets real easy to see when that X starts forming down here. When it comes through, when it gets from way out here in space to right here, but it might take 4 years for this to get all the way down to where it's attached to the 4 people who did it. Every year that this gets lower and lower, it lands right here, you're going to see it. It lands right here, you're going to see it. It's going to land right here, we're going to feel it. It's going to land right here, then we're going to know who the fuck did it. It might take 4 years for us to get this change all the way back down in this dimension. However, as soon as this change happens in the higher dimensions, it overrides every single spell that was written off of it on the way back down. Now, when these bubbles break, okay, So like right now, all of you that, and I say, look, check your chart in 3 days. Check like what's going on in 3 days, what's going on in 3 months, what's going on in 6 months, what's going on in 9 months. Now realize that the day you got your chart, every month there's going to be a change. The biggest ones just take place 3, 6, and 9 because you're walking it through this process of bridging it into the physical. And literally your entire body is merging to hold the story that all of us are change the story up here. We literally all had to change to get the story on the ground. Because the story is coming through us. So when these energy bubbles break, okay, so whenever you're right here and you're still attaching your energy body, okay, when you're still attaching your energy body and you're like a firefly in here, okay, and then you've got these circles around you, and then this circle breaks, or this circle breaks, what all the data and the downloads and the body pains and whatever you have is from merging all this energy. It's no longer just zoop, 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 zoop. You're merging all that energy into your field, which then blows up your field in a group. In a group. You can't do this alone. You're not doing healing alone. You're not changing timelines alone. We're doing it the natural way. We're not predicting anything. All we're doing is fixing the process. So what's happening with and all of this chaos right here, this chaos of all of us floating around and making, because remember, they're on different dimensions. Some of y'all are going to be holding this same form way out. Some of you are making the connections in the middle. Some of you, it's all happening inside your body. Each one is happening when it needs to, because you're connected on 5 dimensions of space-time, because we're sharing an energetic body. We're sharing an energetic power force. We're sharing an energetic healing force. These are all things that you have to know to be a high vibratory creative being in what you'd consider the future, which is now. And it's basically how things have been run down here by people that were harvesting templates. They's all just working together in a group, right? We just weren't really sure who pulled the trigger, right? Well, those of over here in Angel World, same thing happens with us. Same thing happens with us. Something we make a move that we know is good for the human race. Somebody dies. None of us know who pulled the trigger, but we were all in the ethers doing shit. We didn't kill nobody. All we did was take back our energy. If they died from it, then that shows us who did it. When we're talking about the industry, they knew all this. When we're talking about the industry, I'm explaining to you how the industry even produces characters. Now, who I woke up thinking about today was this one. Now, this particular character, and why I've been quiet is because doing all y'all's charts and having all of this Akashic and this craziness is how I went back into Bryan College Station in order to clear this shit up back from the source of how the simulation was working in the 70s. Not the manipulation they did in the 80s, not the manipulation they did in the 90s, not Y2K, not 5G. Us as Generation X coming in here with a divine plan that was supposed to be announced in 1973. Then they want to build domes around it. Now, I want y'all to realize this is the abyss. Go look at the flat earth. This is the abyss. We were all right here in the middle. Thoth's little world and whatever is all right here, and then out here is where the other deeper buried. Those are all deity type Masonic energetics. The reason, if you were one of us, you were getting followed around was because they were watching, and this right here in the middle is where the looking glass was. The Looking Glass and Truman Show was only over those of us who were in the center. That's where the human race was. Out on, this is the wall. This is a wall. Energetically, when all this energy is coming through the planet, then this deity out here and these deities are going to have more root power. But they're not going to be able to get into here, and they're not going to be able to get into here. Well, their whole thing was get into here. Get into here, take over the simulation in the middle of a cook count so that their DNA is cooked in the middle to take your place, bring down all the walls, and basically bring back in the Sumerian gods that rule the whole fucking thing, send you to your rooms, and all of you pay tax and toll. New World Order, right? And no offense to Democrats, okay, but I need my Democrats to understand that this is where you thought you were. They had y'all convinced that all this had been taken care of, and what I'm telling you is happening right now had already happened. But what I'm also telling you is the Democrats were holding their little bubble on all you voters. It's how they got in. Democrat story as a story is real fine and good. If you take everything they're saying, it is true what's going to happen in 20 years from now. Not whenever you're cooked into a sequence and all your power's taken and they're using your power on you. It was just a false perception of where we are right now. And whoever you thought were your queens in the Democrat Party, they're sourcing their power from the true ones. And it would have only saved 2 billion people. Okay, Democrats, what 2 billion people down here are you going to save? I need a list. I need a list of what 2 billion you think are important. Because Democrat, the problem is you were killing all the important ones to make yourself important. Now, all this is coming up because, first of all, this is the one we're talking about. Go get some medical help. You need it. Awana, I command all the bubbles and sphere and atmosphere around you to pop right now. I command every single illusion around you to pop. Nita Hawk, I command your words enact on you. Anybody else? Anybody else? Did I get them all? I need a psychotherapist. I'm a neurophysicist. I'm a neurophysicist. Do you need your brain? I don't think he needs his brain. Do y'all think he needs his brain? I don't. Corey Palmer, you can go hook up with your David Mayflower and connect into whatever that is, but you're no longer in my world. Now, first of all, the word Madonna in Babylonian, you need $1 million. Well, you better get to work making something out of nothing. And I'm teaching you how to do it over here. But y'all think that the money that you have in your reality isn't off DNA, and you think that I'm crazy. So I don't know why you're over here asking us to be your genie. Don't work like that. Then be fake. Then be fake, and this bitch can be your mother. Sounds good to me. Well, if robots programmed you to be a lizard, then you're in trouble because there's no more robot DNA and there's no more lizard DNA to hold it in, and your whole line's dying. Do I still love you? Yeah, I do. I still love everyone, but you're not going to call me crazy when I'm telling you how they've done it to you and why. If you signed up for it, there ain't nothing I can do, though. I still love you, but if you signed up for their shit, then you got to go learn. Every human down here became a fake lizard bot. I don't know why you think you're special. Okay, dude. I'm taking you to the forest right now. Y'all really have no idea what you're dealing with over here. But notice how I put her face up, and notice how I'm talking about her, and her little lizards are all going to show up on this. FYI. Hold on, y'all. DJ, do I need to report you, or are you going to be good? DJ, you're a 22 hook. Well, good. I'm your master. You report to me. We've already done it today. Y'all are all getting lit up from the floor up. So just get ready. I'm going to get back to my... You're all getting lit up from the floor up. I'm trying to get rid of him. I'm listing y'all as child abuse. Okay? Child abuse. Madonna. What I woke up seeing is a mad dawn. A mad, which is Ahmad. Okay, that's another character. a Mad Dawn, a Mad Donald, a Mad Dawn. And I was seeing variations of Dan. So I was seeing, i.e., for example, angled Dan for Danielle, which can hook into Madonna. Now, this is also where Andromeda and mods and DOMs, basically Madonna and the whole network of Madonna in being the false, because I mean that's not Mary Magdalene. That's not any, dude. See what he's doing? Okay, this is perfect 101 for everybody. See what that guy was doing? See all the messages on the chat that I just had to cover. See how all he was doing was sending in different Babylonian constructs. He's doing the exact same thing that I'm doing, except I'm pulling it apart and I'm realizing what was made from it and what they do. Now, they'll send it to you in an email. They'll send it to you in a text. They'll send it to you in a robocall phone number. If you are sitting in your room and you're undoing this Babylonian stuff, it literally sends a frequency out. Hear what I'm telling you. Whenever you're breaking just this word, whenever you and your energy field is this big, then what it does is set up an alarm and it sends them in. And their whole goal is to get you a sequence that's going to disrupt the mind pattern that you're connecting, because what you're undoing is webs of Babylonian infrastructure. And in the end days, in a technology field, with the power that they held, they were getting away with it. They were getting away with it. So hear what I'm telling you. You could be not making a mistake. You could have been in the grid. You could have been doing everything you were supposed to. You were connecting to everything in the higher physics, and somebody sends you a robo email at the wrong time, and it disrupted your entire story. Now, this woman right here sacrificed a baby. She sacrificed a baby at some point. I don't know when. I believe it happened again in this lifetime, and it was the first movie that she did, and it was about that. And then came out her song Papa Don't Preach and all that shit. What I'm realizing is that she sacrificed her child, which she was in the line. So she sacrificed her child, which sentenced one of us to hell over and over and over and over and over again. She's the one that everyone should be thinking. So we've already changed it. They all have to start thinking Madonna, not Beyonce. Now, Beyonce's involved, but Madonna was holding the web. $11.29. All of us that were connected to, because of how this incarnation machine worked, all of us that were connected to this line, that were the ones that were supposed to be coming in fresh, her web was taking its place. Now this even goes into this is going to attach into Marie Helene Rothschild, and this is going to attach into London, and this is going to attach into the production of dames and the titles of dames. And the whole reason that London and Europe were making dames and duchesses and fucking all that shit off just whoever they wanted to give the title to. Because realize what I'm telling you, in the end days, if you're a little firefly in here without your physical body, then literally the internet was dictating your life. Whatever they wanted to write on you. Not only that, Telegram was selling DNA codes. So, and on the internet, there's different Masonic and Cabal sites where different writers who they had said, okay, now we give you the power to write the collective. They would just literally come in and program whatever they wanted the world to do. They just write it in. They just write it, and then it hit everything, and then everybody down here was running because you didn't have an etheric body. Using Madonna. Now, this is also why in the 90s, so many of us started becoming all of a sudden promiscuous. If you were born in the 70s or you were born in the 80s, and then all of a sudden, when you hit like 12, 13, for some of us it happens at 11, especially if you've got a lot of Cancer energy, okay? What she was doing was making us all sexually promiscuous. In order to have us make her energy for her, because she can't produce any sexual energy by herself. Why? Because she's utilized everybody's sexual energy. They literally have to build a system in order to attach a whole bunch of beings in DNA groups in order to power up the industry. I mean, it's what it was. It's what it was. Now, this whole thing, and her name is Louise, and then Sicone, and that's a cone, and Sicone is going to leave you back to the mafia. And I'm even saying somehow she's involved with the current Trump disaster. This name's also connected now, what we're seeing, to the CCC. Well, let's go look up the CCC, because that happened to be on the internet. And I broke this code in 2018. Oh, look, CCC's not there. Okay, well, let's talk about the CCC in Oklahoma. Civilian Conservation Corps? You mean the New Deal? You mean whenever the planet wobbled the last time and we created a dust bowl and nobody had any money, then they basically signed up and reported to the government to give them a job, and per the government became slaves of the government, paid to build the land again. It was like a voluntary slave system. Okay. Well, that was called the New Deal. Now we got the we got Commodity Credit Corporation, and we've got CCC Intelligent Systems. And whether you're repairing an insurer or auto manufacturer or other provider in this interconnected industry, CCC's technology can power your business, people, and systems. Data, advanced AI, and your ecosystem come together like never before to create experience that just work for everyone. Okay, well, whenever you went into the CCC, and if your family line ever was in the CCC, then when you were buried foot to head, and you became New Deal ley lines. C is body codes. C# is what runs Microsoft. COBOL PC. You know what C equals? What timelines are we in? Christ consciousness. Created ley lines, created the World Wide Web. CCC and the New Deal created the World Wide Web. I'm starting to think this is world war, witches. Now, all this is coming up. I'm just going to say to the chart real quick because I'm not going to make this too much longer because you can put your own stuff together. All the commands were made to cut Ahmad from the Skin Factory, the Hiltons from the Skin Factory, all the ones that are getting younger and look younger, they're being depleted, all Indochrome, all NADs. Anything that is an organic substance that's being put into the body in order to siphon off youth energy to make them younger is now depleting them quicker than ever. And I even know we're sending Elon Musk to Kim Kardashian, and we even got robots in people's houses right now sucking their codes out to give it back to us. All of your industry people signed up to be puppets. Okay. They're puppets. We're moving them around. So just pay attention to who's connecting with who. And even though it seems unfair, trust Elon and Kim deserve each other. And maybe between the both of them, we can get all parts of the system back and turned on. And all of your children out of the contracts that were put on them to make it, that the public was tricked into doing. Because I don't believe any of us would sold our children. Did you sell your children? I didn't. I got accused of selling my son. It's why he's missing from my life right now. I'm sorry. All I did was take him to Universal Studio on a VIP pass. You saying that if I take my son to Universal Studio on a VIP pass that I just sold my son? Okay. Then that means that every damn child that ever went to any Disney function got sold. All right. Well, who the fuck do you think is taking down all this shit? What dimension do you think the children from 2008 are holding up? What dimension do you think the children from 2011 are holding up? What wall If they don't get through here, if this ain't clean, they're gonna get trapped and dead in here. That's what they wanted. That's how it's been being done. Entire soul machine stopped. All this is coming up right now because the sun is on Ophiuchus too. This is the laws of Ma'at, and we're dead on it right now. And so what's being shown to all of us is what energies were used even from the Sumerian gods in the Alpha Draconic. Realize that these beings stole from the devil and Satan himself. I'll tell this video in the entire YouTube and the whole fucking world. I've been on here for 7 years telling everybody what they were coming here to do because they used me to do it. Nobody wanted to hear me, so we took it down. That happens to be your entire fucking atmosphere and the entire set of physics that this plane was being run on. Because it is all being run on human harvested energy. And it was never, ever made to sustain. It was made to break. And the Holy Grail breaks it. What I'm telling them, you don't want to deal with me, that's fine. But I'm the nice one. I'm the nice one. You don't connect with me, the ones that come next, and I'm not talking to all of y'all who are on here that are healing, that we're holding and we're making them accountable. I'm talking about the industry and politics and NATO and NASA and all this fucking, we changed every single one of their physics. We took over the harvest. Satan and the devil work for us. Guess what? No more hell. Helene took care of that. There's no more hell. You know what hell is? Hell's a white room with rainbows all over it, and you need to go talk about your fucking feelings, and you need to go tell everyone in that room what the devil made you do, and it's the only fucking way that you can get out of hell. No, you can't go hurt nobody. No, you can't go attack a starseed on YouTube in order to get points. No, you need to get with your other demon brothers and go cry for about 3 fucking weeks. And then maybe you'll have enough space to even see what you've done to the whole world by messing with one. There was no devil or Satan down here in a simulation. Why the fuck do you think they weren't scared of it? There was no cosmic system. There was no Saturn working. They had all this built up to where they were the judge and jury, and it was all listed on what your DNA count was. And if you were here to help anybody get out and get their power back, you became the devil. You did. It was the upside down world. Infinite in physics, the lightest star seeds. Where are we going to go? To the bottom. What proves who we are? That we can clean the bottom. Well, I'm telling you, we cleaned it up. Like, trust me, our version of hell is way worse than their version of hell. Now, what they've done is since they've all jumped into here, they cut their connections to out here. They cut their connections to out here. They cut their connections to out here. Now they're the flies in the dome. Literally. You know why? We connected it all around them. It's been that way for 4 years. They thought, now I want you to follow me. They've only ever had to control this one little orb, and really this is blood. They've only ever had to control this one little orb. Now, when they were controlling this little orb, this energy went straight out. Now, here's the other thing that most people don't realize about how energy works. Now, when you're in a divine feminine seed, and whenever you're holding the actual core, this energy is source, and it goes out, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop going out. It can't stop unless what? It hits a barrier, and then it projects back down. Literally. We would, if we didn't have a barrier right here on our atmosphere, we wouldn't even be able to see the sun. We wouldn't even be able to see the sun. We wouldn't be able to feel the heat from the sun because there's nothing hitting it and reflecting it back. Whenever you're connected into source, you're powering all of space in a cosmic net. Well, where did we start connecting? In 2018. I did like over 40 charts. And this is how this group even was made. Because we did over, in 2018, I did over, I don't even know how many. I had to number them. Well, the first from 1 to 242 were numbered because Osiris wasn't in 24 pieces. He was in 242. So we first had to put back together Osiris connections from way out here. Then what happened? 2 years later, y'all were inside the realm. And we've been coming in this way. Closing this up, closing this up, closing this up, closing this up. Now, in their little world, they felt all powerful. This is even Diddy and Beyonce, all of them. They felt, because why? It was a dome right above them. Why? Because we were stacked all the way around them, watching them. Every single move they made, they felt like they were king of the world, but all it was doing was echoing back in their little world. And so my point is, we've been watching it disappear. We've been watching it disappear. We're just letting them all play it out. And if they're still making bad decisions, then that's add on 1,000 years, 10,000 years, whatever. But their decisions aren't going to affect your children and your life anymore. It's going to affect the group that made them. NATO, the government, politics, NASA. It's going to affect their family lines. It's not going to affect the family lines who are always here connecting everything for everybody that they pretended they were. So basically, in a 7-year timeline that they had, like literally, if they wouldn't have attacked us, everybody would have been saved. Boom. Instead, if you are connected in with the lines who were part of the industry and now you've got to uncoil yourself from that. But there's a part of you that's healed from it. You're not totally trapped. You also need to see how it was done. Now, the gift that I had was connected with these 4 lines. Remember when we were talking about this? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now realize whenever you're a processional being and your mission is to come back on the earth and have women connect, remember their power, and upgrade the feminine line quickly before a maternal override happens on the planet, then you're going to have one family that's got a child in the system. It's got a princess. Then this girl was then supposed to go on and become this. Then this was the in-between connection that was made in out of time from death, because John Bonet was kidnapped on a time traveler thing when they did that, and they did it in 1995, not 1996. They changed this date. This happened 1995. They changed it in the system to 1996. No, it affected 1996. It was right before 1996. You did it on December 25th, and the amount of money that you wrote on there was the exact amount of money that was stolen from this timeline when they stole GIA and stole your Gaia grids to make a Mad Dawn. Now, what this ability allows you to do when you're a princess, now, and this is where a lot of you are princesses. Princesses are special. That's why you don't know any real princesses. And the ones of us who are real princesses are the ones who have been hunted. Because whenever you're a real princess, the king and the queen usually came from the Star Crew. And the king is from the Gemini or Michael or Melchizedek line. So these two form a trinity, and then the princess holds the realm. So that means the princess that's the entire empire. Everything that's made between mom and dad, between the Star Akashic Library and what dad's able to build in the physical, in the carbon, the princess then becomes the connection to the land. This is why your entire simulation was set up on a prince, not a princess. And this is why it was Prince Hall Masonry, not Princess Hall Masonry. We held this line. So, what the whole world doesn't understand is that as I was driving across the United States of America, from here to 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 here, and then one little special trip right over here to Myrtle Beach. As I'm driving this, remember, I have the ability and the know-how to set up a fence and a grid. I do it with all of you. Anybody that's been running trips, or you knew that you were a grid worker, you were a part of it. Every single one of us that were in this sequence, that were driving any road on this freeway over the past 7 years, especially from 2020 to 2024, could realize that in 2020, if you didn't have the royal codes, you couldn't leave your house. 2020 is when all of the royals were making their moves, if they had any royal title across what you consider the world. This is why Kevin Dixon died. Kevin Dixon was the CEO of Chase. Chase was involved in all this. And this. And the money that was put aside in Chase for all of it. Chase, I command that you either hand us our money or we delete every penny that's in your bank account. I pulled Chase. I did. I pulled Chase. This is why Kevin Dixon died on that racetrack in a fast car, because he was there trying to pull Chase, just like I'm saying here, with all of y'all, with everybody who was in a Chase banking account. That's how they had you connected. It basically, you became the vault. Like, we had to do so much with Chase and all of this, and the mortgages and da-da-da-da. Now, don't get me wrong. Bank of America, you're in another pile of shit. Don't get me wrong. Wells Fargo, you're involved in this whole fucking thing too. And PayPal and PayPal and PayPal and Cash App and LinkedIn and all you motherfuckers who got together in one group and built all of this, that was all connected, because all these apps are connected in universal code. That's what the people don't understand. You're the connection. Now, what happened in 2022 is that the poll that was set right here in Aurora, Colorado, that held the Aurora Dome over the United States, okay, was set at 88D. The last time the human race dictated this dimension, you know how I knew? Because I'm Sarah Damaris. And it's the exact thing that they used John Bonet for when she died. It's why it even acted out in Anaheim in a garage. It's why I was in that garage. And by the way, to my ex-husband, I wasn't sleeping in there. I had a bedroom. I was doing my videos down there. As the entire mafia, Colombia, the Third Reich, the Vietnamese mafia, the Argentinian mafia, the Asian mafia, the Valkyrie even, was all around me, trying to hold and spinal tap us, literally the whole human race, into this dome to hold their 88D projection. Well, 2022, this blew. This blew. This went sonar and then it went stellar. And this is why Anne Hesh went flying. Now, California, the reason you're in trouble right now, and so for all my star seeds that are in California, the reason you're in trouble right now is because of your redwoods. The Asian blood voodoo that was being done over there with blood magic to create a net And the reason this is a big deal is because PG and E power comes from Hawaii. And it comes, there's at Port Arena. That's where the Hawaiian current hits California. The redwoods are holding the charge. As high as those redwoods go up, it's as low as they go down. And literally underneath California became like a whole druid pocket. It was like a druid pocket. It was literally like a scaffolding of the dead that was giving you previews into these different dimensions underneath the ground. And so literally all your missing children were trapped in here in lifetimes, getting killed here, getting killed here, getting killed, literally. This is why you never had the baby. This is what miscarriages are. Now look, this gets really deep. This gets really deep because this also bleeds over into if you look down on the United States and you go pinpoint where all the Marriotts are, and then you go pinpoint where all the Hyatts are, and especially the ones now that they have that are called AC. If you go look where any AC hotel is, and then look at that grid and find where these are, okay, they're set up on over burials and burial grounds and energies that are literally flushing your etheric body in a simulation into these grids. What was happening in Frisco is the Hispanic maids that were working at the AC were getting pregnant and miscarrying. And whenever and it's something that I had been doing when I was in the grid system and I'd been doing it for over a year. Every time I would see a maid at the hotel, I would tell the maid how to clean her energy from going into a hotel room, because realize they weren't doing this in their houses. They were doing this in hotel grids in order to power up the grid. So all these people that were coming in doing sex magic, sex workers, black magic, cabal people are literally showing up around you in rooms, and they would put one of us in the grid system in order to heal the entire grid system. And then it's like tickets were being sent out, letting everyone know, especially in California, what hotel we were going to be at. And then they would just come to the hotel and get an upgrade. Literally. It's how they did it. Now, the maids having a root race and being in a Hispanic or Indian are usually what you'd call a lower frequency, just in by their body type and their religion and whatever. Then they go into the rooms with all the magic that's done. They're the one that's cleaning it up. If they're not cleaning their energy, then it's sticking to them. Then they're getting pregnant, then it's miscarrying. But no, it's not. It's not miscarrying. It's getting stolen. The baby's being stolen from another dimension. Okay. So whenever I went up to them and I told one of the lead, because I mean, I even talked to the maid services. I know that I bought the Delta Hotel. I command that the ascended masters now have complete control of all hotel motel grid systems. If they're on land that is making human form, or on a grid that makes human form. And we command the hotel industry be flushed of all evil. And we command that it be seen. And the families that are supposed to be owning these hotel systems be the ones that now run them. And the other ones just deleted. You can go run, Hilton, you can go run your little hotel inside the simulation. How about that? You can go run your little hotel over here. I don't give a shit. It's not going to print your daughter anymore. Now, all that is connected into the Madonna Hotel and the links into Pismo, California, and how they were stealing energy from the fourth to sixth dimension by sacrifices. And today it ends. It ends. In my world, today is slated that my masculine's supposed to step in. Today, in the writings, as far as everything that was developed, my divine masculine is supposed to step in today because it was set up on the 3000 block. It was set up. I mean, I made it happen. They even used me to do it in After Death to make the connection to them on the 3000 block. I'm forfeiting it. None of the ones that are supposedly supposed to match me come close to understanding the power of the energy that me and all of you make. They can't be trusted. They don't get it yet. They're gonna have to lose it all. Okay, let them go lose it all. My divine masculine and my divine twin is myself. And today I pull myself out of the dark side. Today I pull myself out of hell. Today I take every single bit of the healing that the feminine collective has sent to the masculine, and I send it back to each and every one of us who did the work. And in doing so, I command that Vega be stripped of every fucking blood connection that ever made something real on the other side without the connection into the etheric human body and the brain. And I command that every single being on this planet fucking connect it. You have 7 years. We, as the ascended, will not bow to any man. We will not bow down to any history, because your history and your men blew up the fucking world and the future and the past. All because you don't think we're important. And I've waited 72 million years for this. I'll wait one more to see what shows up next cycle. Until then, all of us will build our foundation for us and our children. And the men who get it, you are going to be rewarded, and you will be noted, and you will be remembered for standing with all of us, no matter what your name was, or no matter what fucking time count you stood with us. And I'm channeling this chart. One more year. The answer could be both. One more year, because it's going to take a year for this to go back around in order to match our energy, because that's what I've been telling y'all. All of this is closing in. You think you have a decision, but you really don't. If you need to be run by Satan, then cool. You're going into the fan system, but we're running you. This cosmic energy is twirling into all of the new archetypes, and that's what's coming in. These walls are gone. You have to be able to embody all of it. It's moving. There's no more simulation, and there's no more machine of a hotel grid system paying stork. It's going to take a year from whatever we just made right now, or May. It could be May, like I have an opportunity, and this is just pure energy. I'm speaking pure physics, okay? I'm speaking pure physics, understanding the new blood, understanding how it all shows up here. It could show up in May. If it shows up in May, it's not going to be, it's going to be the opposite DNA strand that's connected to it. But it's still going to show up. And it could show up complete, or it could show up and you not want to involve yourself and wait a little bit longer for it to set. Or if it's a full year, then it's going to be the same energy coming back in with having uncoiled for a year. We're the higher counts. We're waiting for y'all to get uncoiled. It's like literally. Like all the men who think that they're kings, like y'all are in a king set. You're in a king set. You're running a carousel. You've got 3 in your unit that are running king energy with you. You might be running some underground establishment. You might be running a company. I don't know. You're in a king set. You have to take out, like, you can't run a king set in a queen system. It's like the men that are like my mirrors. See, the men that are my mirrors, one's made by MJ12 that was the process of making a Madonna and all that shit. And the other one was a mirror image of Scientology and the cabal and the new physics, which was still being controlled, but in a different way. Each one of them understands the power that I hold and respects it, but won't stand up to his family. The other one doesn't respect the power that I hold because he doesn't even see the game board at the level that I see it. He's still playing it like a gypsy. Neither way, I'm not safe around him because they don't get it. These men want to be Kongs. They want to be a Kong. They want to be an emperor, but they're too scared to stand up to their captors. You can't be the emperor if you can't even stand up to your captors. Like, what the fuck? For all us women, we see it as weak. We see it as weakness. We know what we had to do to stand up to all of it that they built to capture us. We know what it's like to feel like you lost everything. We know what it's like to walk out the door and think that you're never coming back. We fucking know. We walked death for you. You can't get out of it if you don't want to come meet us. The only thing that's going to true this up is getting the right being in the room with me, because I daylight their shit. All right. Well, no one showed up yet. They also don't have a connection to the source. This is why I spin out. The feminine sent out over $50,000 cash throughout this as I was cleaning up the timelines. We're not stupid. We were in the game. Problem is, Chase Bank thinks that they're holding our cash. Not anymore. And they're not even holding a pole to a financial system that everybody's trying to take XRP. No, sorry. Everybody wants to give Hashi Automoto or whatever the fuck his name is. No, I dropped the bit. The government used me to drop the bit. I dropped the bit. I did. I'll say it again. Y'all don't want to believe it. That's fine. I don't give a shit anymore. We're collecting. Until the banking systems want to come do right by us, then they have no connection to what's being built. You want to call us evil? Okay, well, the forefathers laid us here in order to do it. And every single one of you picked us to be the ones to come give you the bad news, because you knew that we would stand on our honor of what was right for you. But then when we show up to do it in this timeline, y'all fucking want to yell at us and call us evil. We don't give a shit anymore. We know what's evil. What you were doing was evil. And we know what the whole world's going to end up in 6 years, because we've already been through it. But okay, just keep doing things the way you're doing. We really don't give a shit. Point is, it's no longer connected with us. That should worry every single person down here. It really should. It worries us. But us as an Ascended Collective and Starseed Collective that's been connected in this the whole time, shouldn't have shot the messengers. So here's why this is all coming out right now. They're making moves. They're trying to move money around, especially from Stanford Financial, all these Ponzi schemes. All these Ponzi schemes that have been over our lifetimes that include Enron, EEG, Stanford Financial, especially trusts or mega trusts, any trust. How did BBT end up truest all of a sudden? I know, and I claim it. How did Ozarks get involved? I know, they used me to do it. But then they might have used me to get into your banking system, but I elevated the Ozarks and dropped all the timeline connections and sealed that motherfucker up for doing it. Who do you think's gonna win? Hi, Ta. For those who choose to do it the old way, you don't choose to upgrade your brain and to live in a flow energy, Joe, they go down for 1,000,000 years. In 1,000,000 years, that their foundation is built off technology and magnets and robotics and metal and fake consciousness. They're getting pulled further and further and further from consciousness that they just all took for granted. They're not going to have the connection to consciousness. So in a million years, whenever it's time for that bubble to break, just like this one's breaking right now, and nobody thinks that it's going to break, then they'll be the crazy ones running around like we were the last 7 years. And not only that, they're going to have to complete and do it the exact same way that we did it a million years from now. And I mean, they need an IBM typewriter. They need some alphabet with some colors on it. You better collect some Cohu shit. You better archive this shit. You better buy every single Cohu 32 thing that you ever, and you better keep up with it and pass it down throughout your lines, because it's exactly what they did. We're the template. We set the gates. Every single attack that they did on us set up a gate and an attack for everyone that comes through. We're the template. Everything that they did to us, and we even had to go divine in the end to get out of it. They're gonna have to repeat all of it in a million years. Right now, the next 7 years, they only need to clean out their part that they took. When they clean out their part that they took and they come and make it right directly with the one that they took it from, not whoever was on their list, then they zero out, and then they'll get upgraded with all of the sections. Right now, they're each one just holding one specific bag. They got to empty that bag. They got to zero out, which means you got to lose all your money. You got to lose your house. You can't even have a bank account. You can't even have a cell phone. You can't have any property in your name. You can't do shit. You've got to completely zero. It's what we did. It's what we had to do. We completely had to zero out, and then we were shown our true connections. It's obviously what's having to happen. What's really sad about it is, especially in our twin lines, it was set up for them to just jump over and pick up the bag and work together. That's how it was set. And FYI, I've already commanded that we've taken them over. We've taken them over. So if and I'm just letting to all you women know, be careful. Don't fall for this. This is self-mastery. So just be careful. But if you now, until forever from now, especially the next year, start getting emails, messages from celebrities, okay, well, number one, I'm commanding that they come find you because they utilized your energy. But we've had to get to the point where we had to command them to come get you. So in a way, they are under magic. So FYI. FYI. But if one shows up, you figure out why the fuck they're there. And I want every single one of you to realize you're holding the power in the situation. And don't let that people know their name or think that they hold any type of anything make you come off your maternal matriarch energy. It's more like the demon showing up to give you back what it stole. What us angels mistake we made is thinking that the demon was supposed to stick around after they give it to you back. And because they took everything from the unseen, as soon as they make the connection, you're getting back what they stole. Because there's no need for any type of 3D contract because there wasn't one to begin with on the line. If they did sign a contract, then they know exactly what they signed it for, and that's what they've got to undo first. If they signed many contracts, then better get to work. All right. So that's almost an hour and a half. Now, I'm going to end it If you have number 12, the reason this is all happening right now and we're having to do and show all of this, and the reason it's coming out is because this is the unconscious, conscious lion. This is what was fucking with your brain in Leo from 5 to 9 degrees. This is the disassociation that men have from their etheric bodies because you've never held your etheric body because it's going to these goofballs. I mean, it's an elaborate system. It's like they're the same person. What's funny is that Sonny was actually the Hells Angels captain of the Hells Angels. See, he's got that star right there. He was like the captain of the Hells Angels, literally. This energy, and then the guy that was Sonny. But our ascended line is him, not her. In my world, my MJ12 twin is Cher, and I'm Sonny. In my world, my MJ12 twin is Marilyn Monroe, and I'm JFK. How did that happen? Well, Leo 5 to 9 degrees. And every time you flip out of one of these dimensions, you're going to go masculine to feminine. It's what the Mona Lisa was. That's what the shifting is. It's why all of them have children that are in transgender, whatever the fuck. So, anyway. That's all for the day. I've got one more chart. One more chart that's on my list that I'm getting done, and then I'm wide open. So there's a couple of you, and I'll and by when I get that chart fixed, I'll email back the ones that were waiting for charts. And we're also getting some other stuff. Just remember that, please, y'all, just remember that every single one of y'all bubbles that are popping right now, and every single download that all of you independently are getting after you get your chart, I'm getting the filtered through pieces way up here and way down here, and then that's giving me the information and the commands to come on and to make these connections, because we're doing it live right now. This is why you need to get your calendar out. You need to go back and mark when this journey started for you. You need to mark when you got your chart. You need to walk when something happened, when the flood happened, and you literally want to look month from month and watch it, because it's a snowball. It's a snowball that's going to keep building. This is the key to mastering remember, you can't just plant a seed and then you walk out and the next day a tree is there. It's gonna, now that tree might be 6 feet tall in 2 years, and you don't know how the fuck it got that big in 2 years, but it started from a seed. And in the simulation and in End of Days, everything became instant. That's the mind fuck. All you really need to do is remember that this energy is building like a snowball, and you're connected into a collective energy that's compressing the middle, because this is your outside body. This degree right here is what kept the whole world in a simulation instead of embodying the Cleopatra body. And this is what's changing. As Mars goes through Leo this whole time, Libra has reset Leo. So these queens and kings over here ain't the same connection. You ain't getting the same connection when you get over here, 33 Leo. You're dealing with the 44 Ascended Collective, and we're mad as fuck. We literally took over the whole wheel, set it at a 44 where the Buddha timelines are. So for all you Buddhists, there's no more 33 timeline. You can't sit on a 33, jump up into meditation, bring down a scene. That's theft. Did you make the scene, or did you just pop yourself in there and bring it down? Realize that's what they were doing. And the whole religion set up to do it. Okay, well, now you need to develop your body. We're going to step into your reality. And for all those who were doing the reality, you know, like for all those that were doing the body, now you've got to see the reality that you produced with your body. If you haven't been changing any of that, it doesn't look like anything's changed. And Madonna missed her delivery. She didn't get her roses. Me and Natalie intercepted it from the gypsy room at the Madonna Hotel in Pismo, which is anchoring the Titanic shipwreck, because it really used to be the bottom of the ocean in Pismo. So Madonna missed her delivery, and then the veterans missed their delivery. This has all been about Virginia and government burial sites and military burial sites, because as far as I'm concerned, the government went all cabal, and we're making them change. Realize I've got all Akashic libraries of every single presidential contract, accord that was ever signed throughout since Nixon. Because they took over y'all's president with Nixon. Why the fuck do you think I was sent here? All right. Love y'all.